Hey guys, it's Holly. So today I wanted to take a look at the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Moments book collection. So today in particular we're going to be taking a look at the Potions Class one, which I know a lot of people also call the Slytherin one because they've kind of done it so that all of the house leaders are in each of these sets. So this is set 76383 and has 271 pieces, and these each retail for quite a lot actually. They're $30 US and 40 Australian, which honestly is a little bit steep. I feel like the retail price is kind of pushing it, so I would definitely try and get these in a retail store if possible. Now these sets are very similar to the Disney Princess books that were released last year. They are a bit different though, as the book itself is brick built, but you do get two giant panels on the front and back. And because there is four, kind of one to represent each house, but also kind of not, you have four to collect, and they can all also be attached to each other. So let's take a look at it now. So here is the Potions book, or Slytherin book, as I hear a lot of people referring it to, and I'm pretty sure that that's just because each of the head of each house is in their retrospective set. So for this one it is Potions. Potions is taught by Snape. Snape is head of Slytherin, which makes sense to why the book is actually green. But before we take a look at the book itself, let's have a look at the minifigures. So up first we have Professor Snape, which does in fact have the same face as all the other Professor Snapes that we've gotten. However, he does have a different torso, and unlike the original one from 2018, I say original, it's more like the redesigned one from 2018, he does not have the coattails piece. Now with this figure it makes sense because it is supposed to be his robes kind of swept off to the side, but honestly looking at this figure it makes me wonder if that was chosen on purpose so that they didn't have to put that coattails piece in quite a cheap set. Like, this is pretty cheap in comparison to a lot of the other LEGO Harry Potter sets. Also with his torso, all of the lines are decorated in purple detailing and creasing, like if you look at the back. However, the older one was done in grey. In all honesty, I probably prefer the older one just because I feel it is more detailed. However, I am glad that they did switch up Snape's torso for this set instead of giving us the same one. And just like the old one, Snape does also have an alternate face. Next up we have TikTok's favourite wizard, Draco Malfoy, and he is very similar to his 2018 version. However, in all of the Hogwarts Moment sets, they have updated the Gryffindor, Ravenclaw and Slytherin torsos to now feature that shield emblem piece, which really reminds me of the original Harry Potter set and the 2010 wave as well, where they did have that emblem in the corner. And while it does look really nice, it's definitely not accurate, so I hope this isn't the new standard, even though that tie print personally I think is better than the 2018 ones. It's just the emblem ruins it for me, so if they could do a version without that and that tie printing, that would be great, or even just revert back to those old ones. I think that would probably be better in my opinion, just to make it more accurate, despite how nice these torsos do actually look. The rest of Draco Malfoy though is the same, with unfortunately his inaccurate coloured hairpiece. At least in my opinion, I don't think it matches the best, and he does have an angry alternate face. And lastly we have the most interesting minifigure from the set, Sheamus Finnegan, and this is the first time this figure's popped up since the 2018 Whomping Willow set, and he does have a brand new alternate face print, which makes it look like a potion's exploded in his face. And considering Sheamus is always blowing things up, I think this is perfect, and honestly this is what they should have done originally. Like Draco, he does have a new torso print featuring the Gryffindor emblem, and this does pop up in a lot of the other Hogwarts Moments sets as well, so it is not too exclusive, but it is nice to get a multiple of that, I guess, even though it's definitely the most common one of all. Sheamus also comes with a tan one, and he does have just a regular smiling alternate face, which is very similar to his original one from 2018, although I do believe that the eyebrow printing and the layout of his face is slightly different, but overall it has the same style. So here is the Slytherin book, and they remind me so much of the Disney Princess books that were released in 2020. However, this one is a brick built version. It's not two solid pieces and a few Technic pins. This is one entire printed piece, and might I add, that print of the Hogwarts crest is absolutely beautiful. I am really glad that they managed to print that on there because it looks amazing, especially with that gold reflective sheen on it, and I'm really glad as well that they were able to print the Latin saying underneath, which looks great. There's also a lot of little details and things like that and patterning on the front with like potion bottles and crystals and mushrooms and a cauldron. It looks amazing. And then on the back you get a very very similar piece, however, it just doesn't have any printing. And then the spine is made up using a few plates and a bunch of curved slopes, and then you do have a stickered cauldron print there. And unlike the Disney Princess books, they did put these pieces in the corner, which just makes it look a lot more complete in my opinion. Now, something really cool about this set, like the Disney Princess ones, is that it can be completely stacked up. So when you open it up, a lot of this set is actually contained within the walls of this set, and then everything else is just kind of stacked on the top. So you do have a little table here, a little whiteboard which does fold up and you can kind of unfold it like that. You also get a chair which is connected to the top via one stud, and then you do get this little potions rack thing with a cauldron and a green bubble. The rest of it is all actually attached to the set using some studs hanging off the wall, studs on not on top method, our good old favorite, and then the rest of it just kind of unfolds like that, which kind of annoying about the Slytherin one is that it's very straightforward. I guess you can kind of bend it like that, but really that thing can just be completely closed and that is the area. Whereas some of the other books, you can kind of open it up all the way and use both sides, but there's not really much on this side besides some really nice looking stickers. So starting off with this set, I want to take a look at all of these little individual pieces separately. So first off, we do have this little table with a bunch of jumpers on the top, and that way you can set up a bunch of different cauldrons and random pieces here and there. However, you don't really get much that aren't actually attached to the set itself, besides this little potion bottle here. That's literally it. The other item you get is this black book, which on the inside has a brand new spell piece, which is awesome to see. I'm really glad to be getting one of them because personally I'm kind of sick of seeing the Wingardium Leviosa one, so it's good to have another one that hopefully will be going around in circulation a lot more. Besides the table, next you do get a chalkboard which has a lot of nice little plants and flowers on it and some text. I'm not too sure what this is exactly meant to represent, but this chalkboard is a stickered piece and then you've kind of got it built up on either side, and the studs exposed on the side mean you can attach it to the rest of the set, and this bit here does bend so that it's easier to kind of slot into place when you fold the entire book up. I guess you could also put it down on the ground like this and kind of have it lower down and angled. However, I'm pretty sure it is supposed to be displayed standing upright, but it's Lego, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want. Let's just chuck that out the way. Next up, you do get this little Nougat Chair, which has a really nice build to it, honestly. It is quite low down and you do have a tile at the back and only 2 studs on the front, so it makes it really easy to get your minifigures in and out of the seat. What I also love about it is all of these curved pieces at the top, making it look really rounded off. It looks really nice. It doesn't have any feet though. It is just 2 black 3x2 plates at the bottom, so it doesn't really stand up very tall, but it was a very nice inclusion. I guess this is supposed to be Professor Snape's office chair or something like that. And our final mini accessory is this little potions rack, and if you take both of these off, you do get a nice sticker print with a bunch of quills and potion bottles, a sack, some rocks, and what looks like a tiny bunch of million spiders, which are kind of creepy. You also do get a nice gunmetal grey cauldron. I love having a bunch of them, so it's really good to get another one of them. And then you do get a little ice cream piece stuck on top of a round 2x2 in a little glass jar, and both of those just attached to the jumpers at the bottom of this shelf. Here is the remainder of the set itself, and like I showed you earlier, you can fold this entire thing in, and it's really nice and self-contained. So on the left, you do have 2 giant stickered panels, which look really nice. I love the prints on these. At the very top, you do have the Slytherin flag, and then you do have a photo of a wizard as well. At the bottom as well, you do have another sticker which has Tom Riddle written onto the wall, and I like to think that that was him in like his angsty teenage years, where he just like grabbed a pen and wrote on the classroom wall. I don't know if anyone else had that or if like the children were well behaved at your school, but I definitely saw a lot of people doing that when I was at school. So that's what I kind of like to think that that is. And then you do have a little bookshelf which a bunch of books on it, including one that just says potions, so go figure. You do also have a little vase with a snake skeleton, and personally I would like to know how it fit through that little gap at the top, but that's a really nice little reference to snakes being like the head and like the animal of Slytherin, and potions and all that. And then you also have a little hole with some beady eyes poking through, which looks really creepy. At the back of this center console as well, hidden behind a wall, is a little table with what is supposed to be the Sorcerer's Stone, which is a really nice little Easter egg for this set. On the other side of the center console though is a much better design, but firstly at at the top, you have this really nice skeleton architecture with a bunch of snakes, not even skeletons. What am I going on about? This looks really nice, and I love the way that that is built up, and it's just little things like this that make the Slytherin interior my personal favorite out of all of the books. Underneath, you have some really lovely stickers, and honestly, I would love to get another one of these books so that I have double of this interior and can add this into my Hogwarts mock, because this looks so much like the potions classrooms from the movies. So firstly, on one of those corner bracket pieces, you do have a giant sticker with a bunch of vases and vials all on these wooden shelves. Then you have one of those classic curved archway buildings inside the potions classroom with another Latin phrase printed at the top, and I love this one. These archway pieces are just super handy in general, let alone the sticker piece on the panel. I think that looks incredible, and I would absolutely love to get multiples of these and make a proper potions classroom, because this is just amazing. Next to it, you do have another stickered panel with a bunch of other vases and jars, and then you do have some actual Lego ones sat next to it on shelves, which I love the incorporation of that. And then on the end as well, you do have another one of those round archways, which unfortunately does not come with another one of those panels. I personally wish it did, just because of how accurate it is, and we've never seen something like that from Lego. This just alone here, if I just bring this a bit closer, looks so much like an actual potion classroom. Lego has done an amazing job with the interior design of this set. So folding that up, we head to the last corner of this room, and there is just another little shelf that is attached to the back of the book itself using some studs not on top method. So you can kind of pop this entire section off and it comes off into two, and there is a little potions vase there in purple. And then on the side as well, you do have two round vases that are kind of built up to make it look like a shelf. I just think overall this looks really good. On the back wall as well, you do have a pot and a clear glass here, as well as a spoon and no! To cut up some of your ingredients for when you're making Felix Felicis. And then on the side, you do have a green bottle and a dark translucent grey bottle, and both of these look really good, although I think out of the rest of the design of this set, it's probably the weakest area. At the top as well, we do have another sticker with a pipe heading down, which is a bit small to fit a basilisk through, but you know, Tom Riddle can be a bit ambitious sometimes. And then you do have another random wizard portrait. So overall, I really like the book, and honestly, I think out of all four of them, Slytherin's set design is definitely my favorite. I think the minifigures could have been a bit better, don't get me wrong. I love Sheamus's face, and I'm glad that we have a new Snape torso, but I just feel like they're a lot weaker than some of the other sets. But I absolutely love the design of the Slytherin books, and I do think the sand green works pretty well, although I can't deny that I probably would have preferred a darker, deeper green rather than these like brighter, almost trying to be pastel type of colors, I guess. But I think in this set in particular, there are a lot of elements that I could incorporate into my Hogwarts mock, because as an adult collector who likes to display these sets, I feel like compared to some of the other Harry Potter sets, this doesn't quite translate to both playability and displayability like a lot of the castles and such do. This one is definitely much more of like a open it up and play type of thing, and let me tell you, I would have loved this as a kid, but as an adult collector, I can't really see so much of the appeal besides the minifigures, and since this one does have lacking minifigures, it's quite disappointing. From a mock standpoint though, this has a lot of amazing parts that I can see myself trying to utilize in my Hogwarts mock. So from that standpoint, I think it's really good, and I'm glad I purchased this set. But yeah, just in comparison to a lot of the other Harry Potter sets, if you're an adult collector looking for something to display, I would not probably recommend this set at all, unless you'd bought everything and then wanted to display it like that. I do think these all would look really good stacked next to each other along with the actual physical copies of the Harry Potter books. I think that would be a really good way to do it. But other than that, like even when they're all opened up, I don't think it's quite as appealing. But let me know your thoughts on this set down below. Do you plan on picking it up? And if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing down below to see the rest of the Hogwarts moment reviews. And until next time guys, I will see you later.